All right, this is the copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. And this video is not for any monetary gain. It is explicitly for the reasons stipulated in the Copyright Act of 1976 under Section 107.
We post a lot about the US dollar. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but a lot of countries are not, they're not messing with us no more. You know, they're joining China and Russia and they're not using the US dollar to trade anymore.
Yeah, the first time in what 30 something years, 50 years that the yen have finally surpassed the euro in the American dollar.
And a lot of people in our comment section, a lot of people on the internet, they don't look at it as a big deal. Like Americans, we're so cocky. We think that we're the most powerful. We think that nothing could happen to us. But I think that's completely false.
It is completely false. The only people who think that are the dumb Americans, right? Those are the people who don't understand the world. Every country have failed. America done ruled for almost 1,000 years. It's time for another ruler. It's just the way it is. America is the youngest country on earth to be in this position as a superpower to dictate the world. They the youngest country. America don't have 2,000 years of tradition, but China do, Russia do, North Korea do. Everybody's not in Russia. Everybody not in North Korea. Everybody is in America. How they gonna run America? How y'all think? How America gonna be strong when they got 99 different tongues in America, nigga? And ain't nobody speaking English but the white man properly speaking it and the black man improperly speaking it. Everybody else is speaking their native tongues, dealing with one another in their cultures. So China then came out and said, listen, America, we sick of y'all. We sick of Americans trying to rule the world. And look how they do them black people over there. Look how they do these people. We are sick of America trying to dictate to the world their democracy and what they think is diplomatic. So we sick of them. And by the way, they've been borrowing money from us to buy oil from the Saudi Arabians. Even the Saudi Arabians tired of us.
Yep.
Boy, if y'all don't think, listen, they've been preparing us this. That's why the American government, and boy, they gonna come after my ass for saying that. But fuck it. That's why the American government have been trying to derail cryptocurrency. For this reason right here that y'all seeing today. They did everything in their power, nigga, to derail this. But at some point, everything's going to that digital coin. Because that American dollar ain't backed by nothing. Them coins got gold backed by gold coins. America don't have nothing to back this dollar. It's just paper. The only people that believe that paper is worth something is Americans now. So let me just say this before I forget. Most politicians, I won't put a number on it, but most politicians, they rely on us as voters and citizens to be uninformed. That's how they stay in power. It's the uninformed voter going out to vote. That's how they remain in power. And those are the uninformed voters in the comment sections. Most of these people don't have a bank account. Most of these people don't have a budget to run. So they don't understand the world. They think every day that all this money that these people are showing, that their money really has substance, and it don't. That's why that card is way more accepted now, even in America, than the dollar bill.
Which country do you fear the most?
China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran.
Why Iran?
Iran is way more dangerous than China. Iran been giving America problems for a long time. All of those are allies. But man, Iran got a vendetta. We killed their general. Wrongfully. Drone strike. And millions of people came out. Millions of people. We've been warring and destroying their country and their nation and their people for a very, very, very long time. They got people and young people and old people who was born with hate in their heart for Americans, like the slave was born into slavery. They don't know nothing else. Iran is one of the only countries that don't have a Jewish bank in it, a Rothschild bank. North Korea either. The last shall be first, and the first shall be last. America was the last country on earth, youngest country ever, to become a superpower. They was the last. They became the first. Iran been the last for a long time. North Korea been last for a long time. Russia and them been last for a long time. It's their time to be first. Yeah, it's their time to be first, homie. America done a lot of wrong in the world. For the last 280, 70-something years, homie, America's been at war with different countries trying to tell them what to do in their country. So the chickens have to come home to roost. America's the modern day Babylon, homie. It has to fall. And as we can see now, we're at the beginning of Babylon's fall, starting with the dollar.
This is the book of Joel, chapter 2, verses 28 and 29. Verse 28, and it reads, "And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions." Verse 29, "And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit." Giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Ayashar Barazal, a prophet of doom from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone, coming back at you with another lesson that is edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. And all I can say is, that Charleston White sure is using a lot of talking points that GMS and those who teach the like doctrine have been talking about, for like decades, and increasingly, within the last few years. All right, and this is the guy who was scoffing us last year. He better repent for that. But yeah, he's definitely mentioned a lot of talking points that we talk about. Like the BRICS, the nations coming together, against America. Those nations seeing what America is doing to the Israelites, which he called the so-called black people, about hey, everybody is sick of Edom, okay, beginning with Amalek, the ones who are impersonating the true Israelites right now, occupying the land, all right, and his brothers, the rest of the so-called white people. Yes, they are too. Amalek is just the head tribe, according to Numbers 24 and 20. He's the one running everything. Everybody sees that now. All right. But I just want to correct a few things that he said in his video, in those clips. America has not ruled for 1,000 years. July 4th, 2026 will be the 250th birthday of Babylon the Great, aka America. That's the other thing he called this place, Babylon, modern Babylon, which we talk about all the time. All right, it'll only be 250 years. Now, if you want to count from the first colony, which was Jamestown, Virginia, that was established May 13th, 1607. That would bring the total from May 13th, 1607 to 2026, a total of 419 years. So it's nowhere near 1,000 years, but even in less than half that time, the amount of damage these people have done, to the whole earth. Scriptures tell us to, destroy him that destroys the earth, and that's what he's done, and he's on that path. All right. The other thing he mentioned, he's talking about the other rulers. Okay, the other rulers is not going to be another one of those countries. It's not going to be Iran. It's not going to be China. It's not going to be Russia. Okay, it's going to be the Israelites. All right, and that's something. He's worried about those other countries. You need to be worried about Yahushua. All right, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, and verse 28. This is a red letter. These are the words of Yahushua. It says, "And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell." All right, and that's talking about the Lord. He created you. Esau wants your soul with this MOTB, but he can't have that. All right, that's why they want to deal with your conscience. Transferring your spirits, take control of it. No, he can't do that. And when he tries, that's when the Lord, is going to open that can of whoop ass. All right, and come back and start to deliver his people. But you're going to have a lot of people that's going to go ahead and take it, but not as elect. All right, it's not going to happen to his elect. But yeah, you talking about fearing those people, you need to be fearing the Most High. Hebrews 10:31 says, "It is a fearful thing to fall in the hand of the living power." Yeah, he's the Father of spirits. He controls everything. Even the stuff that's going on right now. All right, remember Isaiah 45:7. He creates the peace. He creates the evil. He forms the light. He forms the darkness. The Lord does all those things, roughly paraphrased. All right, but yeah, that new ruler is going to be the nation of Israel. This is Sirach 10:8. I'll start there first. Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 10 verse 8. And it reads, "Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another." All right, and that translation, your translation is a gradual process. All right, we see it with all the prophecies coming to pass. Those curses slowly but surely lifting off the Jake and going on to Esau. They in straits right now. They don't know what to do. A lot of the Jake who don't have the truth is not even reacting to this devil. But his elect know that the vengeance is of the Most High. All right, we can back that up with scripture. Jake just don't want to, that spirit is on Jake. That it's not their fight, and it's not. We know this is a spiritual warfare. You just saw what happened with with Captain Kirk. One of his own took him out. Yet they go after Jake on these HBCUs. So they know their time is short, and that old promise Esau made back in Genesis 27 and 41, he said, "The days of my father Isaac are at hand." When that time, roughly paraphrasing, when that time comes, he's going to slay his brother Jacob. So that's an ancient hatred that he has for us. All right. So yeah, the kingdom is starting to translate. We know those curses are lifting because of Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. All right, we know those curses are lifting and coming on to Esau. Just look at them on the internet. Pissed off, crashing out, reporting everything that they don't like. We just found out that the algorithm is tracking, code names, certain code names for the big-nosed people, the cheaters, the robbers, killers and thieves that are occupying the land right now, impersonating the real people, with, all the tribes is not even over there. They don't even have all of the land, yet they're saying that they're the chosen people. The whole world knows who you are and who you are not. Point blank, period. All right? So things are switching over. All right? This is Second Esdras, Esdras, who was in the Apocrypha, who was the same as Ezra in the Old Testament. All right? In the lineage of Moses' brother Aaron. Second Esdras 6 and verse 9. And it reads, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." And that word world in that context is aeon, meaning the end of an age, end of a rulership. All right. And it's saying that Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. That's your new rulership. All right. And that's not going to change. Once Yahweh comes back and reestablishes everything, they go into slavery for 1,000 years, and then are done away with permanently after that. That's the whole nation of Edom. The entire nation of Edom is going to be gone. All right. Good riddance. You have been a terror to this entire planet. Even the earth is sick of you. Even it's out of course, according to Psalms 82, because of you. You don't let it rest. You just mess everything up. Garbage piles as big as the state of Texas. Garbage in outer space. Whole islands. All these sea life, whales and stuff beaching themselves. Because you're such a terrible nation of people. Point blank, period. All right? No other way to put it. All right? Yeah, it says so Esau, who is the so-called white man, okay, is the end of the world, the end of an age, end of rulership. And Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Okay? How long is Jacob going to have that? This is the book of Daniel. Chapter 7, verse 18. And it reads, "But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever." A never-ending kingdom. Okay, we're going to have the laws, statutes, and commandments as part of our very fiber, our very being. Okay, according to the second covenant. You can get that in Jeremiah 31 through 34, and that's also followed up in the New Testament in Hebrews chapter 8, verses 8 through 13. All right. The first covenant with Israel, state of Israel. I'm not Slakia, not no Slakia. I got Amalek on the mind. The first covenant is with the true nation of Israel, all 12 tribes. All 12 tribes. And so will the second covenant be with all 12 tribes of Israel. Not those imposters, all right? That's, going to draw America into World War III, all right? And then these clowns talking about, what did they say? China is hiding Hamas, and talking about they will go into China and get them if they have to. Yeah, take your ass in there if you want to. Don't forget, they got allies as well. A lot of them. Okay? Who's got just as much firepower collectively. All right? And like he said, Iran is pissed. Yeah, they killed their top defense minister, but you got to remember, at the end of that same year, they took out the top nuclear physicist. So yeah, and based on how they responded to Benjamin Mikulski and his army with those drones, you would have never known that top guy was gone, because they handled them with the little stuff. All right. But yeah, it says we're going to take the kingdom forever, even forever. And that's going to be the Israelites. Who are those saints that they're spoken about? All right. Now you said, everyone is sick of America. But you got a lot of people, even though they see what's going on, they just cannot admit that we are the true people. All right. And if it's the curses are clear now. It's clear who was suffering under Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 15 through 68. Abundantly clear who's suffering through that. All right. And who's at the cause of it. Who owns all these 3- and 4-letter agencies. All right. Who just signed a $45 million deal with Google, watching the algorithm? Who is overseeing TikTok right now? Okay, because they want to change the narrative. It's too late. It's too late. You're exposed. And then on top of that, it's smoke around them right now for the unaliving of Captain Kirk. So yeah, they're sick of the whole nation, all right, of Edom. All of you. Whether you, and yeah, it's not just about a color thing. You got a lot of melanated Edomites, okay? A lot of them. Tares, as we call them, all right? But everybody is sick of this place. This is the book of Obadiah. All right. This is I'm gonna start at the top. This is the vision of Obadiah. Thus saith Yahweh our power concerning Edom, which includes Amalek too. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Okay, and that ambassador is the second Egyptian president. Prophecy of him, Gabal Abner Nasser, the second Egyptian president, and he's on record saying they, the J-ish, no, not them, not the J-ish. It says that the Jews left here black. No, there will never be peace in Israel because the Jews left here black and came back white. All right. Gabel Abdel Nasser, second Egyptian president, said that on television, 1952. All right. Verse 2 says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. And yes, everybody hates both of them right now. Both of them. America and the J-ish, the imposters, currently occupying the land. And go through the scriptures, that's only a portion of the land. The part there, the part there have right now, that's the and trying to take the Palestinians out of, that's the area as identified in the book of Joshua, chapters 13 through 22. But the whole land is actually from the great river of Egypt, which is the Nile, all the way over to the Euphrates. Okay? That's the promise of the land that was given to Abraham. All right? Genesis 15 and 18. All right? So, yeah, you are greatly despised. among all the nations. All right. Says verse 3, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down? All right, and that's Esau talking about the cleft of the rocks. He loved living in those high places, just like Mount Seir, his original home. You look at Mount Seir, which is called Petra today, the architecture mimics exactly what's over here in the United States. All right. It says, who shall bring me down? Extremely cocky. Psalms 10 says that he puffeth at his enemies. Very, very cocky, very, very proud, and understandably so. You got the best weapons right now, but hey, that's going to be matched. Not only, and then, other nations are going to hand it to you, and the one factor you keep ignoring, Esau, is Yahushua. When he and those hosts of angels come back, it's over. It's over. It's over now. We just, letting being patient while everything takes its natural order, as prophesied by Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right. Verse 4. It says, thou shalt exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. All right. You got your space stations. You lied about going to the moon, knowing damn well, you didn't go to no moon. Science has already proved that there's no metal strong enough to withstand the Van Allen belt. All right. And as a matter of fact, that picture that you show with the landing, the moon is plasma, just like the sun, just a lesser light. And you walked on it. That flag wasn't even blowing. It's not supposed to. There's no gravity outside that point. And that's not the first time you tried. We know how much this birthright means to you. All right. It means a lot. Jeremiah chapter 31, verses 35 through 37, talks about, you trying to take away the ordinances of the moon and the stars. Okay. NASA project A119. Okay. You tried to send a nuke to the moon. It didn't happen. Currently, Kill Bates is trying to block out the sun. That's you, Esau, Edom. That's you. Going to great lengths to get rid of the children of Israel. Now, you're gonna get a lot of them, because 2/3 of our people are slated to be cut off and die. According to Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. All right. Verse 5. And it's the Lord. The Lord's going to bring you down. It says, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? And the answer is no. Esau takes everything, and this is talking about, the gleaning, even when you glean, so if you're supposed to leave something for the poor, even with these corporations, with these restaurants, they'd rather throw the food away rather than give it to the homeless. All right. But yeah, Esau takes everything. Old saying used to go, if he could steal the stink out of shit, he would. He's probably working on that as well. All right. Verse 6. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Through these scriptures. Once you find out who he is, the wicked, all the different names for him, Satan, the devil, Lucifer, okay, it becomes very apparent who he is. How are they sought up? You know, these are the things, as the Lord said, Amos 3 and 7. You know, he does nothing. He revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets. You know, we know him through his tokens. You know, according to Job 21 and 29. You know, all of his signs. It's very clear who Esau Edom is, and very clear who the true children of Israel are. You know, because our curses, you know him by his signs. You know, our curses said, you know, we would be, it will be a sign and a wonder to us, to who we are. All right. Verse 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. That's what's happening. All right. On the verge of war. Okay. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Yeah. While you bullying them, they've been like, okay, studying you. You know, slowly taking over. Okay. Like right now, you know, you putting all these tariffs on China. You know, America's not a manufacturing place. They just consume. Consume. All right. It says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There was none understanding him. Yep. You use your big stick to gain some sort of order out of them, and they're just laying in wait. You know, ready to fuck this place up. And you too. Okay? It's all controlled by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Alright? Like you said, Isaiah 63, he comes back to a world ruled by Edom. Alright? Ruled by Edom. And you're going to have to pay. You know, you've dealt horribly, treacherously with a lot of nations. And, you know, as that saying goes, the chickens have come home to roost. And you're not going to know what happened. All right? This is book of Isaiah, chapter 33 and verse 1. It says, woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled. Okay? Robbery. You know, you robbed everybody of their resources. Okay? And dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. You know, if you couldn't have it, they couldn't either. So you killed them and took it. All right? Just like even over here. You know, you got these Edomites want to build these white communities, talking about Jake is jealous. This goes to show you how ignorant they are of their own history. You know, we didn't need you after slavery. We built our own communities, but you destroyed them. Man-made rivers, highways, universities, okay, airports, the Pentagon. You know, our camp does a series for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. Yeah. Not only was it the civilians that had to do with a lot of our demise, it was the government that had a helping hand in it, directly or indirectly. What they call it, urban renewal. No, that means taking Jake's property with no compensation. They just wake up the next day and the bulldozers are out, you know. It says, when thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. And that's exactly what's going to happen. These nations are going to turn. And you're starting to see it already. You know, they think the 34 count felon is a joke. These other nations, okay, and that just goes to show you what a hypocrite this place is. You know, he's got 34 felons and became the leader of the so-called free world. Yeah, 34. And let Jake have one, he's ruined for the rest of his life. All right? You got the highest office with 34 felonies. But that's the hypocrite, Esau, Edom. Like the scriptures say, the joy of the hypocrite is for a short moment. And it's getting real short. All right? These nations are going to have, are turning on you, And even though, like it says, the ones that were confederate with you, you get that confederacy in Psalms 83. It lists all those nations that were confederate with Esau, Edom. Okay? Yeah. Yep. They're going to turn on you, NATO, EU, the people who have as much firepower. So they're going to turn on you along with those other nations. Russia, China, Iran, Syria, Saudi Arabia. They're going to turn on you too. This is Revelation. I'll close out with this one. Revelation 17 and 16. And it reads, and the 10 horns, NATO and the EU, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. That whore is America. Okay, Babylon the Great. And shall make her desolate, a wasteland, nothing. And naked. And they shall they shall eat her flesh, meaning to consume her, okay? And burn her with fire. That's those nuclear missiles. All right? Total destruction to this place. And it's coming, and they know it. All right, so with that, I hope this lesson was edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. Once again, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom, Kwam Yasharallah, Abba Abba. We got next, permanently. Shalom.